is good. All right. Looks like we're good. All right. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play a Panda Live. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Thursday afternoon. Yeah, we're gonna sneak in this. We're gonna sneak in a live stream while my kids are running around outside. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if I get shut down suddenly in autumn, that kind of thing. But today we've got kind of a special deal going on. We're going to be painting some miniatures from Fantasy World Games. And Fantasy World Games is a local operation that approached me about painting some minis. And, you know, they want to paint something popular. So why not, you know, our favorite, Star Wars. Star Wars. So we're painting these Mandalorian. Am I allowed to say that? Am I going to get sued by Disney? How come I'm not receiving enough video to smoothly stream? What is going on? Let's see. Are we doing okay? Looks like you guys tell me if my stream is okay. Error. Is it not? Is it, are we going too slow? Let's check. See if I can try to fix our streaming. Does not appear to be doing very well right now. Hey, what's up, Sean? Stream status just turned poor all of a sudden. Okay, so it says that we are back. Let's see how we do. I think we're doing okay. It's time to go ahead and, so like I said, we're painting Mandalorian miniatures. So here's what we got. Here's like a Django Fett style. Now he looks a little greasy on camera. He could probably do with a little bit of a touch up. Maybe they might just be a little bit, oh hey Shadowcat. They might just be a little bit wonk. Today we're going to paint Boba Fett, right? So it's been a while since I've had Boba Fett, or I painted Boba Fett. So let's have a look at some Boba Fett, like a Boba Fett miniature. How's it going, Shadowcat? All right, so let's type in Boba Fett. Let's look at images of Boba Fett, because he's a little bit different than these other ones. Because his armor is kind of different. He has yellow shoulder pads and green there. He's got a lot of colors going on. And this sculpt isn't exactly Boba Fett, so he's not, you know, he's not going to be exactly the same in terms of his shape, but we can at least start painting him like Boba Fett. So we're going to be working on this, and then I'm also going to work a little bit on this sort of female Mandalorian armor as well. Okay, so it looks like our stream is doing a lot better. So let's go ahead and rock it, get started. So what I did was I started with a base coat of Griff Charger Gray. You can see it's showing off the detail of this model so that you can see. It's a pretty sexy model as far as I can tell. And we're gonna woo, allergies. Not coronavirus, not coronavirus. Allergies, people. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this with some sky gray. Boba's on her. I don't know. I don't even follow Star Wars, guys, so bear with me. I'm not the most Star Warsy of Star Warsians, if that makes sense. But so I use this gray. It's not quite a white, but it's pretty bright. It's a pretty bright color. It's actually a really nice little base coat if you're going with contrast paints. So given that he's got yellow shoulder pads, we're gonna paint this. He's also got a smaller gun. You Star Wars fans, gosh. I guess Nelson would be pointing all this out to you if he was here to tell me. I don't know. Fly casual. That's the line, right? Do you have a cat crying upstairs? What else could be a distraction right now? No, really. Let's get some of this done. So he has, and then he has like red. His pads here are red. CV19 is coughing. That's right. That's right. I'm gonna live forever. You'll see. You'll all see. Okay. So this pad here is also yellow, according to the image that I happen to be looking at. Okay. If I get it wrong, it's not my fault. It's just the image that I'm looking at. But yeah, these knee pads are both yellow right there. Okay. And then, am I missing anything else? Not really. His like wrist guards here are red. So I'll just paint them this color for now. You can see how this this color just kind of resets us back to where we were when we after we primed. It's not 100%. It's not a 100% match to that color, but as you can see, the difference between the gun and the brace there is pretty minimal. Okay. Oops. So let's do that. Let's give this a little bit of white here, and then you guys can tell me what else needs to be what color. Just kidding. Yeah, this isn't. It's obviously it's not an exact copy, but I'm painting him a la Boba Fett. A la Boba Fett. Okay, not exactly Boba Fett. A la Boba Fett. And this one, I'm just totally winging it. So I've got no. I actually have no design that I'm following from this one. I'm just gonna paint it however I want. So this one you can blame me for if you don't like the final color scheme here. Because I did look up like female Mandalorian armor online, and there are so many variants of it. You basically can just do whatever you want, it seems, with the female armor, which is cool. That's actually kind of an advantage is in this space if you're going for a female Mandalorian costume is basically sky's the limit. You can say whatever, like, yeah, sure, I'm this type of female Mandalorian thing, and no one's going to question you. Everyone's just going to be happy that there's a female Mandalorian. Okay, you get points for attendance. No one's like freaking out. Like, actually, no, that's not true. Nerds are going to freak out. Stupid nerds. Some nerds are, that's not part of the Federation and you part of the Rebel Alliance. Ali G Boba? Maybe. Ali G Boba would be kind of awesome. I'm not sure. I haven't decided exactly what color this is going to be. But I do know that back part of the bracer does need to be this volupus pink. It's your job to impress us. Oh, man. Some people at my work actually do think it's my job to impress people. They do. They cart me out in front of like customers and like, yeah, say the smart thing. Like they, yeah, say the smart thing. People, they do that at my work. Come on, Octave. They think it's like a treat. They're like, yeah, Octave, we got this great lunch plan, this work lunch plan where we're all gonna go out and we're taking these like some of these big customers with us, and you just gotta say like a bunch of really smart stuff to impress them, and you get to have this great jerk chicken dinner or lunch or whatever. And I'm like, what the hell? I don't give a shit about your lunch. You guys ain't going to Popeyes, right? If they put me in front of a customer that wanted to go eat Popeyes, I'll tell them whatever the hell they want to know. I will straight up, like, we're having Popeyes. I need to talk to you guys about this chicken sandwich. Did I tell you? Did I tell you how much I love the Popeyes chicken sandwich? Did I? Have you heard that? I'm telling you. That Popeyes chicken sandwich, man. You know, it's my birthday coming up, and what I want for my birthday is I want a Popeyes chicken. I want a Popeyes spicy chicken sandwich is what I want. And my wife is going to be like, what do you want to eat for your birthday? And then be like, Popeyes chicken sandwich, as you do. All right. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there, people. Just a couple of layers get this all doing what we need it to do. Okay. Cool. That jerk chicken, which is like shitty, not actual jerk chicken. It's just lies. It's like hotel food. It's jerk chicken, but it's not. So it was a dirty lie. Anyway. Oh, did you know that there's a Baby Yoda? Straight up. Look, let me show you guys. There's a Baby Yoda. Right? Look at that guy. Look at him. Look at his eyes. Look at those eyes. Can you say no? Can you say no to Baby Yoda? Tyrone Bacon sandwiches. You cannot say no to Baby Yoda. He's almost done. I looked at the little floating cart thing, and it does look like kind of like a piece of trash he's floating in. So that's kind of where I went with that. And you know, and you saw the other guys, right? This is the way. This guy here. This is the. Did you notice that like the Mandalorian and like Jango Fett, they have like they're like more chrome looking. They're like shiny, super shiny looking. Whereas Boba Fett's very flat looking. Try a sausage, cheese, and bacon sandwich. That sounds good. I'm more of an egg, bacon, cheese sandwich person, but I'm telling you, that Popeyes spicy chicken sandwich, if you haven't had one yet, you need to go out, get yourself one right away. It's delicious. Delicious, I tell you. All right. So, yeah. So, anyways, this company, Fantasy World Games, like I said, local outfit, approached me to paint some stuff. They have some really cool resin cast furniture for Guild Ball. They have a tavern set, which is awesome. They make they make some boats, which is really cool. Just really neat stuff. And you say no to Baby Yoda. You have no soul, Shadowcat. How about that? Anyway, so they make some really cool stuff. These are resin pieces, and the nice part about it, as you can see, I believe it was all cast in one piece. So even though it's a double-handed rifle hold, typically something I hate in miniatures because it's such a pain. Like think Infinity, like putting a metal Infinity piece together. Um, it's it's it can be a pain to put poses together like that. But these are all single. They're all single sculpt. I mean single piece sculpts from what I can tell. So anyways, so we're gonna paint his. Let's go ahead and get the color blocking done. So we're gonna paint his shoulder pads yellow. And if you guys, this is what I'm seeing on the Boba Fett stuff, because his Boba Fettness isn't always the same depending on where you look on the internet. But he does have, the Boba Fett I saw does have yellow shoulder pads, like so he's got a yellow shoulder pad here. I guess both shoulder pads are yellow? Sure, why not? It's Boba Fett. And you guys can all scream at me if something isn't quite Star Warsy enough for you Star Wars people. So there we go. And then this piece here is also yellow. But as you can see, it's a single sculpt, and they're pretty impressive. The detail is pretty impressive. Good sharp look on these. And they paint up, they paint up pretty simply because they're Star Wars minis. Because what are you going to do? It's a Star Wars, guys. A Star Wars. Bask in your trend of Star Warsness. Okay. Oops. Totally. Yeah, I guess I got that. Sort of like this. You put a ton of infinity together, a ton of infinity together this week. Nice. I will be doing, for my birthday, which is Monday, I will actually be doing, I do plan on doing a stream. I want to paint, we're going to paint something for me, something very fun. And it's going to be anime themed, okay? It's going to be anime themed. As you guys probably know, I am a fan of anime, so it's going to be good times. All right, so Boba Fett has green armor, and it's like a camo green armor. So there's a couple of different ways we can do this. I can make it light green and shade it down. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hit it with some camo green, and then we're going to decide like how far up we need to go. Assuming I can find the color, which I know is here. It was just here. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves while I look for this color. There it is. Okay. So it's like a camo green, and then he's got like the red face. Oh, he's got yellow on his rocket pack. I guess. Ugh, okay, fine. Yellow on the rocket pack. You're waiting on your Darth Talon and Ashoka. Sure, me too. Did you have a hard time painting Arena Rex when you worked on yours? I did not, actually. they are really nice. Those are really nice miniatures. I got to play around a lot with skin tones, and um, they're super fun. I would love to actually paint some more um, for like my collection, but I haven't been buying Arena Rex much. But they're super fun to paint. The one thing I would say about Arena Rex though is because it's such a fragile resin that they use. That's the scary part. All right. So I feel like I do actually want to go start a little bit lighter and shade down. Okay, I lied. Okay. Soda Pop Minis, Mandalorian, and Baby Yoda. Ugh, I don't really want to talk about them. All right. So we are gonna go with a lighter green to start, and we'll just take it up or down as necessary. This is obviously it's a very bright green coming down, so it'll be easier to just dirty this one rather than go the other way. So that's kind of the plan we'll take. Okay, so we'll paint this armor green. The Egyptian group. Oh, I love those minis. What are you finding particularly hard with them? I did paint an Egyptian group, and they're very fun. All right, and he's got like a green plate down here. Now, Boba Fett doesn't actually have pads on his thighs. He just has pants, and that's super boring. So I'm not going to do that. I'm actually just going to give him... Yeah, I know. The Star Wars canon people are... Their faces are melting right now. No! Because I painted thigh pads on Boba Fett. But yeah. I like that you could see too that the pads have... The armor actually has a little bit of battle damage on it. So, like, we could... If we really were going for, like, display level work here, we could do all the weathering and all that fun stuff there. And I believe he has... Yeah, he doesn't... The pads down here are not... they aren't colored in, which is kind of weird also. But we'll leave it. We'll leave it. Let's go ahead and do the cloak, which is also green, but this is a darker green. Oh, the gems and beading work. I think I really just kind of went with fairly generic gems and stuff on them. Like painting the skin and getting all the tones and that stuff was fun. But yeah, like you're talking about like the alternating like greens and yellows and reds and stuff for their jewelry. Yeah, I just did. What I do with stuff like that is I'll paint it a generic, like it'll be like a generic yellow to start, and then you paint then you just go in and paint the yellows and the greens and the reds when you can. All right, so we're gonna go one layer here of this sort of camo green. And as you can see, this is a really pretty dang cool miniature, right? The detail, it's it's a printed resin mini. I think it's a printed resin mini. And for printed resin, this is fantastic, right? There's usually all kinds of prep work that goes into when you print a mini. Usually all kinds of prep work that goes into it to make sure that that you get a nice paintable mini at the end of it. But we really didn't do much here. Okay. It's nuts and you gave up. I mean, how are your brushes doing? Do you have a good sharp tip brush? Sharp tip brush will turn that. It really not so bad once you do that. All right. And then for these bracers here, they're red. Ooh. There's like a gunky on the end of that. So we're gonna paint this red. Now, don't get too worried, as this you could see that this Boba Fett is very brightly colored. Like, don't worry, we're not gonna leave him looking like a Christmas tree. If that's what you're worried about. This is fine, right? What do I always say? We trust in the process. I'm gonna get this red down here. And then the visor, I will try to get on camera. The main work on the visor there. I'll try. We'll just see how we do, okay? And yes, I do realize I've done next to nothing on the other female mini. We'll get to it. Hold on. All right. All right. Does Boba Fett have... Well, he should have some other red on him. Not really. It's got kind of like a brown leather belt. And that's about it. He's got the brown leather belt. And then he's got... You bought a bunch on Amazon. All right. So now we're going to paint in the famous Boba Fett face thing here. That's the technical term for it, right? The face thing. This isn't actually Boba Fett. He's like very similar to Boba Fett. I'm just painting him in that style. You can call him whatever you want. Right? We can call him McClunky if you want. I just feel like he needs some dark brown in here to make him look a little bit more legit. Yeah, Shadowcat. I saw the advertisements for those, but I don't know if you know my history with Ninja Division, so I'm just choosing to ignore that. Just choosing to ignore their products right now. I don't like giving them airtime or any sort of promotional stuff. That's right. They did me wrong. That's right. That's what we need to know. Okay. It's cool that he's got actually a lot more detail than the online images you'll see of Boba Fett, because there's less, like, those those are like, I'm looking up like costumed Boba Fett's, which don't have all this extra stuff. So he's got a little sidearm blaster here, and I want that to look cool as well. I also really appreciate the antenna on the helmet. It's really neat. Okay, and then he also has, so this one has like a little ammo belt down here strapped to his boot plate. You know, you see guys like this with like all this cool gear on. You're like, dude, how do they take a piss in this stuff? That's what I want to know. What are they doing? All right. So far, so good. I'm going to switch gears for a little bit here. We're going to move back to her. So for her, we're going to, for right now, we're going to hit it. We're going to hit her armor plates and pretty much her whole, oh wait, her whole body with with a gray to like kind of put, throw a healthy amount of shadow on everything. But before we do that, let's do some belt work on her. She actually does have, these kinds of belts, which there's some areas where the detail is really good, and you can take advantage of that and kind of highlight and contrast and that kind of thing. And then there's others that they kind of get lost a little bit. So, right. So you just kind of base all this on texture and how raised is that surface, and can you get a reasonable amount of detail out of it, quality level detail out of it. So we're gonna hit all of this leather stuff. Right, she has her pistol out, and I'm gonna get all the belts. They did a mini that looks like Leia, even though autocorrect, I assume, had you saying Lester right there. Because why not? Who wouldn't want a chibi miniature that looks like Lester? I don't even know what that would look like. Maybe the English people will explain to me what a miniature from Lester should look like, or a miniature of Lester should look like. So we hit this whole thing with. Now, if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna paint one of your own one of these, you do not have to do this sort of non-metallic look that I'm doing. In fact, you could just do a nice lead silver / chrome look on these. But I'm going to make them look a little more cartoony. Right? Okay, cool. We'll let that dry for a second. We'll go back to Boba Fett. All right, so Boba Fett is way too bright. So we are going to shade the entire model. And it'll shade in the gun and the rocket pack and the antenna and all this other stuff, the blaster here. So we're going to hit the entire thing with this color here, basilicanum gray. It'll dirty up the whole thing. So that bright green and the bright red and all that stuff is going to go bye-bye. And the whole model will look more shadowy. So you can see already where that's going. And then it's just a matter of coming back in and re-highlighting stuff. So I will not touch the shoulder pads. The shoulder pads, the yellow parts need to stay yellow. They look, actually, this basilicanum gray will look terrible over yellow. But it looks great over most colors, as you can see, right? It's just applying a good amount of shadow to everything else that's here and part of the model, especially things like the rocket pack. So you can see it's kind of giving us the baseline for steel. And you can see I'm going to paint over this yellow back here so you can see it gives the yellow shadow and dirties it up. I don't know if I necessarily want to do that on the armor yellow, the armor plate yellow. Right? But it took it brought the red down to the color we wanted. Got the blaster. It's a nice little shadow everywhere, right? And it actually does kind of sit where they have the battle damage sculpted in there too. That's kind of nice. Maybe we just paint this guy. Was that a little more Utini? I don't know what that. I don't understand the words that are showing up on my screen. Yeah, let's paint. Let's dust up that yellow a little bit. Not too bad, right? So I'll cover them up. It'll look a little weird at first, but there you go. So this is more of a dusky looking Boba Fett. And like I said, we're going to punch him up so that you can see, so he pops a little bit more. But so far, it's a pretty good color. All right, that's pretty good. All right. Okay, so in other news, wow, we're not getting really good lighting here. Here we go. It's Jawa speak. So let's go ahead and let's move over to her, and now we're going to start getting the steel on her underway. Okay. So you can see what this contrast does is it really does lay a pretty nice groundwork for if you're going to do non-metallic steel looks. And you can push this to be more like a chrome look if you want. And then I might push it over the entire I could push it like over the entire body, thereby making um, the volupus pink look a little darker. But I don't know if I need to, right? I don't know that I need to. I will. We're definitely going to give her a cool pattern on her visor, though, right? That secondary color that like Boba Fett has and Jango Fett, and but the Mandalorian does not have. Because his visor is his helmet is like pretty much all chrome. But I swear, like if you just wanted to do a really quick and dirty paint job, you can see that these paint up pretty fast. I mean, because this is that's a pretty good start for a lot of people, right? That gets you to a pretty good place where you can start making all this look chrome, whatever secondary color you want it to look like. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit it with another, sorry, I want that. Let's go ahead and hit it with another base color along the bottom. So we're going to paint the base color of the sand. And then we're going to do the actual, like, the actual work here on these. All right. So we're going to go with some agarose dunes. And this should help. This will actually help the kind of bring out the colors so you can actually see what I've painted, because I realize that it's pretty dark on camera. And we want these guys to kind of pop from far away. So we are going to highlight the color up. Okay. There. If we want that chrome look, there's kind of a lot that we have to, a lot of highlighting and shading and that kind of stuff that we need to do, but that's the start of it. I used agarose dunes. It's a contrast paint. It's a really nice, right? It's you know, when it's done, you could do a little bit of dry brushing, and you put a little tuft down. Where's the other guy? Did I lose one of them? Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. So these can be very fun. They're just fun to paint. You can see I put a little bit of red there on this plate here and here, because that's where he's got them in the thing. What thing? You know, the thing. All right. So most of this stuff is drying. Don't want it to pool too much. So yeah, you can see you've got some nice detail in there. Okay. All right. Let's go back to Boba Fett. Boba Fett. All right. So Boba Fett just needs. He's just gonna need some punch ups on some of these colors, right? Just to kind of show them off a little bit. Before you primed, what did you? Oh, you're talking about the texture. I used a this product. It's a ground texture. It's basically it's a pumice that you just put on there and spread it down. It gives you a nice little texture. Then it's very easy to deal with once you get it. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what I want to highlight this red. And when you're looking at Boba Fett, images of Boba Fett, it's really not highlighted much at all. And I don't want to go with Scarlet because Scarlet may be too bright. So I'm actually going to go with a really weird kind of dull pink. This is usually the pink I use for lips and tongues and that kind of stuff. So I don't know if this is going to work, but hey, it's just paint. You can see how pink my brush is, how terrifying this looks. I'm not even, we're not even really giving this much of a coat at all. We just want to show off where some of the lines are on the mini, right? So real subtle. And all I'm doing is just kind of accentuating the dark part of the visor of the helmet, that little slit, right? You just want to be able to see that. See that, how that just kind of betrays a little bit of the edge there? And shoot you a picture? Okay. It's a Vallejo product, so hopefully you should be able to find it. So you can see there the little bit of edge highlight. And that's all I'm trying to do, just real subtle stuff. With red, you don't want to over highlight. You just want to be able to make out different parts of the armor and that kind of thing. So like you may need, like in this case, I'm not even doing full edges. Just stuff like that. Okay. Next up, I want to do the yellow. So we're going to highlight the yellow a little bit. And this is where, again, you want a little bit of brightness. This may actually be this may be too, well, no, probably should work okay. Hey, what's up, David Love? How's it going, buddy? Hope you guys are all healthy and safe. Hope you guys are. I think most of us are. All right. So again, this isn't even a highlight so much as because it's just a rounded surface. I'm just brushing a little bit of yellow on here to kind of get some of the yellow back. And you can see I'm concentrating it all on the top. It's a very thin layer that's just concentrating on the top. Gonna, you know, trying to just call a little bit of attention to the top of the armor. Right, so you got a little edge there that I can highlight directly. And then here, like I said, it's not much, so you get a little bit of thin layer of paint there, and you just kind of push it upwards. That's all you're doing. I do feel like it needs a little bit more punch to it. Okay, and let's do a little bit on the top of the knee. Okay. So he's looking pretty dark, which is fine. I'm okay keeping that sort of tone on him, as long as the highlights kind of call out, like kind of draw your eyes to different areas of the model. Okay, so right now you're starting to see the greens, some of the lines on the reds. I mean the yellows and the reds. And now let's punch a couple of lines on the green here. Where is, I need a good, ooh, that's a really light green. I'm gonna do it. You'll see. Painting your 6mm Cold War West Germans. Nice. See, West Germans. And when you're doing highlights like these, they need to be very thin. Very thin. Let's see if I can actually do this. In the most subtle way possible. You can see how I'm going in with very thin paint and just sort of pushing it up towards the top there. Base your Rebel veterans just need to prime them. Oh, cool. Yeah, I know. This may come as a shock to some of you viewers, but I'm not really a Star Wars fan. I know, right? What's the matter with me? That's true. Not really a Star Wars fan. That said, Mandalorian designs can be very fun to paint. And that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm kind of just enjoying this fun little Mandalorian design. You see how watery that paint is? I can push it up. Right, so it's not screaming in your face, but it's enough to draw your eye to it, right? It's enough to draw your eye to a little bit of detail up top there. And I'm just gonna follow up the shadow there. A little bit of green here, right? Again, all I'm really doing is playing with a little bit of the lighting, just to get your attention, get you to look at certain things. Right? Because I am really liking on the helmet how it pushes like all the way to black, and then we push the green out to a very light green on the edging and stuff. Get you excited about it. Why not? It's Boba Fett, Star Wars fans. Don't all you Star Wars fans love the Boba Fett? We love the Boba Fett. I actually do like this green costume design much better than the other Mandalorian ones and stuff that I was painting. I like this is just more fun. You get more colors to play around with. Mandalorian is really only like 3 colors. But this is kind of nice. There you go. Starting to see some more color popping up on this guy. Right, you just kind of keep applying layers until you're done. Until you're relatively happy. I like this because I'm really just exaggerating the crud out of the helmet. Which everyone loves this helmet. It's like the best, it's like the most iconic thing. Right? Everybody and their mom wants this helmet to walk around the house in. I think, what they should have done with coronavirus is part of these ridiculous multi-trillion-dollar stimulus packages is they should have given us all either Mandalorian helmets or Darth Vader respirators. I think you walk around. There's actually a guy at work, the super nerd guy at work, that he spent like $150 on a face mask. It was like a Star Wars themed face mask, and I got to be honest, it looks terrible. It doesn't look like it looked like he was just wearing looks like he was just wearing like a chrome one of those chrome step plates that you might see on a pickup truck. That's what it looked like he was wearing. It was not great, guys. That's what I'm saying. I may have gone a little overboard on that green, but it does look cool. Right? I need to smoothen that out a little bit more. Right? It's a little fuzzy looking up top there. But as you can see, this is really where you're going to concentrate most of your highlight anyway. All right, so I'm gonna push some color up this way. Okay, cool. There, so now your eye is drawn to a few things on this guy. Ooh, don't want to lose too much of the dark here, so there we go. All right. I like that. Cool. All right, he's looking pretty cool. All right, let's go back to this lady here. So now we're going to start to highlight some of the steel. And again, I don't know what color, I don't know what the secondary color here is going to be on her visor. Open to suggestions if you guys have any. Well, I'm going to switch to, I'm actually, details a little tighter on this, so I'm going to step down to a brush with a sharper point, just so I can get a little bit better detail out of this. Where are my good brushes? Here's one. And we're going to do this. We're going to do this on the on like the steel parts of boba as well. Now, if you want to know what I really like, I do love me some boba. Tomorrow after work, I'm going to go get me some boba, because that's a normal thing I do on Fridays. It's like Fridays I work half day at work. It's part of the summer schedule. I work Monday through Thursday, and I work 9 hours, and then most people take every other Friday off, but I work the schedule that is 9 hours, and then I work 4 hour every Friday, which is nice. That's what I was doing last year, but it wasn't an official schedule until I started doing it, and they're like, oh, that needs to be an official schedule, so they made it an official schedule. So we're gonna start punching up some of the look on this armor as well. I don't think she has a center, one of a center stripe the way the boys do. Can't tell. I don't think there's a center stripe there. Blue? We could do blue. Yeah. Let's do a full highlight on it, and then you can, then once the armor is all popped out, then you can tell me what color you think the armor should be. I don't know if these shoulder pads should be silver either. They could be the secondary color too. So like maybe the shoulder pads and something else can be blue. And you got this center plate here, which I cannot quite make out much detail on. So we'll give it the generic highlight, right? Where we're just basically pushing. We're just gonna push it up lighter and lighter to up here. Okay. And then Then she has this sword, obviously. So it's very important for the sword to get the highlights, more so than the gun. Swords are fancy. You appreciate this Caspian flesh wash more. It's a really P3 inks, dude. They're so good. I cannot praise them enough. If you are using inks or washes, I really think that if you find, spend some time getting used to the P3 stuff because it's worth it. Yeah, I think it's totally worth uh, working those inks into your repertoire because they perform so well, and they just do exactly what you need them to do. The trick is just understanding what each color looks like and what they actually do, and then you just fit them. You should have no problems fitting them into your repertoire. All right. So we're just gonna give all of this armor this treatment, and this is similar. I'm gonna do the similar thing that I did with those Mandalorians, except for I may tone down that last step because those Mandalorians look a little greasy to me. I don't know about you guys, but they look a little greasy. They're cool, like they're gonna photograph well, and they're fairly bright and whatnot. But I'm just finding them to be a little greasier than I would have liked. And I'm kind of liking this pink too. I think it's looking pretty cool. Uh-oh, somebody's bugging me. All right, that's probably not for me then. Okay, let's get some Mandalorian, some Boba Fett stuff here. So as you can see, now he doesn't have a sword, and the gun we actually don't want to be too bright. So I'm just gonna do little bits, tiny bits of light, just tiny little edges, and pick up stuff like that. Right? I'm not making a sword. Right? It's not like a sword that's gonna draw all kinds of light. The gun barrel on this is pretty fun. You could do burn marks if you want. Like if we wanted to make it look like his blaster has seen a bunch of use, you could totally do that. I do appreciate that this guy looks he looks a lot more rugged than his color scheme is a lot more rugged than the other guys. I tried to correct for that by making them a little greasy. But greasy maybe wasn't the right idea. You never know. Right? And there's no one way to paint these. You don't like the way I'm painting these? Go buy some miniatures from Fantasy World Games and be like, ha, there. I painted them. You can't stop me. Look at how good mine look, and yours look dumb and weird. You could totally do that. Okay. As you can see, this guy's not getting, he's not going to get much. Boba Fett here is not going to get much more. He's kind of looking pretty good. Actually, I do need to get I'll highlight there, underneath, in here, right? Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so now we're gonna go up to white, the crazy color. And yes, you do white, and this is one of those scenarios where I tell people less is more. Okay? We're just playing with lighting. We're not making the Ark of the Covenant or whatever. I ran out of things to say. Where is... I actually need my white paint. Why did it leave me? Oh, should be here. That is not white enough. I need actual white, people. All right, keep looking. Hold on. I got it. Don't judge me. No. We could use this. All right. So we're going to use dead... Ooh, no, we're not. We're going to use actual good white. We're going to use Vallejo white, which is a very good color. Okay. Did my stream error out? Is it doing weird stuff? Seems to be okay to me. All right. What is this? Who is this? What? Okay. Somebody's asking me to paint another Baby Yoda. Damn it. I'm in the Baby Yoda painting business. I will do it. Of course I'll do it. It's Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is so easy to paint. Sure. Yes. I will do that. All right. Okay, so now we're down with white. And white is going to be the swing color, right? So pick the sharpest edges, obviously the edge of the sword being the prime one. Put the white down. So in this case, the white here sit right in the middle of that. Okay. You have no luck with white. White is very difficult to paint. But it's so good at getting that last little edge for you. If you can be patient with white. Right? So like this edge right here. And then the top edge of this little chest plate. But again, less is more. So we don't need to kill you in the face with white, but we're gonna put enough white there so that you can see that yes, this is an actual thing. Right? It's good to have white next to the deepest, darkest contrasts, because that's really what's gonna get your eyeball interested in looking at stuff. Okay. Now here, see where on the mask, the detail gets a little bit lost in there. So I got to be very careful about how this gets highlighted. Right? And I know it's not looking like much now, but we will make this look like, this will look more like uh, like a chrome type steel in a minute. Right now I want to get your eyes jumping around to parts of this miniature so you could tell me about it, about how, like, what kind of Mandalorian you are and how much do you love Star Wars. Right, just a little bit of white there in that corner. That's it. Wing, that's it. That's all you're doing. A little bit right there. There. Swing. Okay. I know. Right now, it doesn't look quite like steel yet. We'll get there. There's still some stuff we need to do on this model. And we do need to get that secondary color in. Whoa. Sometimes the white gets a little too out of control. There we go. I'm actually going to fix something on this guy. The green back here is kind of weird. Like we're getting there with the NMM. It's not, thank you. We're not quite where I want us to end up. So just bear with, guys. Okay. All right. All right, so now, before we actually do the other colors, I want to play around a little bit. I'm going to play around just a little bit with this model, more so than I did with the other set. I'm going to give it a little bit of a bluish tinge, right? And the way you do that is just a little bit of Griff Charger gray, just a little bit. And this is like a supplemental shadow that you would put on, right? So it's gonna sit right there in the lower half of the model. See how that is? Right there? Just adding a little bit of gray there. And then what happens is you're gonna push that closer and closer to black. Right? So I'm gonna, even though this part of the visor may end up being a totally different color, for right now, I'm gonna push it this way. And there's even gonna be a little bit here. See how it, like, right before it hits the black, it's gonna be this little bit of a gray blue color right there. Okay, same thing here. And again, this is where less is more. To keep stressing that. Okay. And you can see where this is most evident is the places that are going to have that white highlight next to it. So it does show off that white a little bit more by giving you another color contrasting in there, another layer of shadow contrasting in there. And then again, slowly build it. Don't go nuts. Slowly build that. All right. There. What do you think? We're starting to get there. Is it me? The original Star Wars movies from Rogue One had 95% humans in it. It did. That was when I liked Star Wars. Okay. Let's go ahead and yeah, let's pick that color now. I think Shadowcat is right. I think blue would make a really neat visor here. So blue would work. Alternately, I also like blue. So we're doing blue. we're gonna do a fairly bright blue on this. All right. So this is kind of a like a Django Fett little homage here with a little bit of blue on the visor. Yeah, this area in here is kind of the only spot where it gets a little wonky, right? You need that, ideally you want that to be a little bit deeper. That's not too bad, all things considered. There we go. And just so that we have more blue on the model, I don't like the idea of just having blue there. Let's do some blue on like this part of the bracer, right? Let's add a little bit more blue to this model, just so she has a true like third color on there. I guess I'm just gonna continue this band all the way across the back even. Should the top of the antenna be blue? Let's do it. Just to, again, we want to just give this model a little more. Now, if I do this thin enough and allow the highlighting to come through, it actually looks quite nice, right? It still keeps a non-metallic look to it. And again, blue bracers. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. That's pretty nice. All right. Oh, forgot. I'm going to do blue here. Do blue in there. There we go. Now there's a lot of blue on the model. I should also highlight the pink a little bit, right? Give it more. Just really, this is going to be a much brighter model than the other Mandalorian figs. I think she looks pretty cool. I'm actually pretty psyched about this this outfit as a whole here. It's a rangefinder. Sorry. Thank you for telling me more about Star Wars. All right. So the top of the rangefinder is now also blue. All right. So she's looking pretty cool. One final touch here that I want to do with her is I want to go back in and get the deepest parts of the armor. Does the company have a website yet? Not yet, actually. I think they're still working on that. But when it does show up, I will post that on my Facebook page. I will give you a link to it. So the last thing we're going to do here is we're going to do a little bit of armor wash. And I need it to be fairly dark on Boba's gun. So it's going to go heavy on Boba's gun, but it's going to go light most other places. So you can see we want the gun to be a little bit darker than everything else. And the little sidearm blaster as well. Like we want it to be darker, but we don't want it to look completely like opaque black. We want that detail to shine through there. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit of that here towards the bottom of the rockets. Okay. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to shade kind of the bottom of this helmet because it's so bright up top that I'm actually going to give this a little bit of a shade in here. All right. So I'm not just going to leave it totally like lime green up there. But yeah, I totally recommend looking into these pieces. You can see they're very well done. They're super fun to paint. Like I said, I'm not even a Star Wars fan, and I'm enjoying painting these. To the point where Nelson is messaging me, "Hey, can you paint more Star Wars stuff?" Don't do it, Nelson. Yeah, I will. Yes, Nelson, I will paint more of your Star Wars stuff. Anyways, so now I'm going to take that armor wash and I'm just going to apply it kind of in specific spots, right? NMM is all about forcing the contrast. So the more you've got lights and darks, shadows and highlights and all that stuff playing around, the more convincing the look is. So another layer here is this shadow or this armor wash, and I'm gonna, like I said, you can go heavy on stuff like blasters because you want blasters to look a little bit darker. But when you're talking about like actual steel stuff, you don't want it to be, you don't want it to overpower. So I'm going to put it there on those as well, and then here also, right? Give us a little bit of metallic look on the belt buckle. I did not have to assemble these. These were all that was the impressive part, is that they're all like one-piece miniatures. And but yeah, they're fun, man. These are fun to paint. Just need more. Let's get that edge there. Yeah, that can be fun. And then the tip of the sword should really, I tend to go really light on the tip of the sword. Because again, that's another area that you want people's eyes to be drawn, is you want them to see this, you want them to see this sword edge right here. So that's looking pretty good. Cool. I mean, I do want a little bit of white. Just like a nothing. Sometimes, there we go. You just want like a nothing spot. Just to, again, maintain the illusion there. You're off. Good night. Oh, good night, Shadow Cat. Okay. So, yeah. So, to give you an idea, here's some other ones. Like I said, these are a little greasier, but there's a Mandalorian there, and you can see they're more chrome looking, so that's why he's all like shinied out. This one's very close to that Boba Fett style, like more Jango Fett, but again, also super chromed out. And then these here are going to be less chromed out, but also still quite fun. So, all right. So with that, we're going to call this video to a close. Well, I guess I can. No, let's hold on. Hold on. We still need stuff. There's still stuff we need to do here. We're not done yet. Jeez. Okay, let's do. Let's get a little bit of highlight on the sand. So we're going to go with this light gray green, and we're just going to give it an overbrush. Right, get that sand. The sand color right now is a little too rich. So I want this to look a little duskier. A little duskier. You can see. So I believe these will be sold with flat bases like this. I was just about to do them on like round lip bases, because that's really my favorite, are round lip bases. But I figured I'll do them on this style base because I believe they will be sold with flat top bases like this. Just to give you an idea of like, okay, here's a very quick, easy way to approach those style bases, is just to put a little texture on it, a little highlight, and a tuft, and you're good to go. So we're going to just do all of that real quick. I think, hold on. Oh, my wife's asking me for food. Yes, we want food. All right. I would love food. Thank you, wife, for offering me that. Okay. So my PVA glue is a little scary. Don't look at the tip. It tends to dispense more than it needs to. Actually, I'm gonna put a little, there we go. It's a nice little bead of glue there. And we'll do one for her. Okay. And then let's throw a couple of tufts down. You can see the glue pushed out a little bit. Don't worry, it'll dry clear. All right, cool. And the final thing we're gonna do, we're gonna paint some. Oh, thanks, Sean. We're gonna just paint the bases black. Then we seal them, and bam, we are officially done with these Mandalorian things. Obviously, I won't be able to seal them on this stream because I'm gonna let this whole thing dry first. But you can see, I mean, these were pretty straightforward, simple paint jobs. And, you know, it doesn't take a whole lot to get these looking nice, right? You can get a decent looking bounty hunter out of these. I think there is going to be, he did mention to me that there's going to be an alternate helmet design on this female one. So we'll look forward to seeing that in the near future. All right. But I'm pretty stoked on that. These are pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and wrap these up. So really, it's really just going to depend on like what kind of different looks you may want for yours. I've followed some fairly classic designs here, but you know, just go on the internet and Google different Mandalorian armor. You know, people have done so much with the look that you can do so many other things. Wish to hit restart for 2020, but way ahead on my painting schedule. Yeah, doing pretty well. I mean, there's still plenty of stuff for me to paint, but I've been rocking out these commissions pretty quickly. So I'll be back on the commission trail, but like I said, I will be streaming Monday, and I'm going to stream something fun just for me, something I like for once, right? So that is going to do it for this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments. Again, this is made by a local guy that he's calling himself Fantasy World Games, and I will post some information on my Facebook when we have more. And he makes a lot of cool stuff. Like I said, some of these figures, he's also doing tavern furniture, which is